You know, every time you buy an insurance policy, you're buying a promise. It's a guarantee against a future you can't predict. But have you ever wondered how a company actually gets ready to pay for a disaster that hasn't even happened yet? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain and see exactly how insurers build a financial fortress to prepare for the unknown.
I mean, really think about that for a second. It's the fundamental problem insurance has to solve. Insurers are collecting our money today for things, a hurricane, a major health issue, a car accident, that might not happen for years or even decades. So how on earth do they make sure that money is still sitting there, ready to go when that promise finally needs to be kept?
So let's start at the very beginning. At its core, insurance isn't really about selling a product. It's about making a huge promise. It's a contract, a guarantee that there will be a financial safety net for those events we all hope never, ever happen. And this promise, it creates this massive financial obligation. The company is legally on the hook to pay up. But here's the kicker. The timing and the final costs are a total mystery. Trying to put a number on that uncertainty, that is the whole reason actuaries exist. It's their central challenge.
So to solve that challenge, what do? They build what you can think of as a financial fortress. It's designed to withstand whatever storms the future might throw at it. And this isn't just, a good idea. It's a strict, non-negotiable legal requirement. The cornerstone of this whole fortress is something called a provision, or a reserve. Now, this isn't just a slush fund or a pile of extra cash. It's a highly regulated, very carefully calculated number on the company's balance sheet. It basically represents the value, in today's money, of all the promises they've made to their policyholders for the future.
And these provisions are actually made of two key ingredients. First, you have the best estimate liability. Think of this like a weather forecast predicting the most likely path of a storm. It's the average of all possible future costs, the statistically neutral prediction. But we all know forecasts can be wrong, right? That's why they have to add the second ingredient, the risk margin. This is the safety buffer. It's the extra supplies you pack just in case the storm is way worse than predicted. It's there to cover the true cost of uncertainty.
Okay, so we know what this financial fortress is built with, but how in the world do actuaries actually calculate that number? Well, they've got a toolkit with three main techniques they use to peek into that financial future.
These are the big three: the prospective, the retrospective, and the stochastic methods. Each one gives a totally different angle on the same problem, and which one they choose really depends on the type of insurance, the data they have to work with, and of course, what the regulators require.
The prospective method is all about looking forward. You basically stand in the present and project everything that could happen in the future, all the premiums coming in, all the claims and expenses going out, and then you calculate what that's all worth today. As you can imagine, this relies a ton on making good assumptions about the future.
Now, the retrospective method kind of flips that on its head. It looks backward. It calculates the reserve by adding up all the premiums that have been paid so far and then subtracting the costs that have already been incurred. It's basically asking, based on the journey so far, what amount of money should we have saved up by now? This is often used for simpler products or as a way to double-check the other methods.
And that brings us to the real powerhouse of modern insurance, the stochastic method. Instead of just one prediction, this method uses massive computing power to run thousands, sometimes millions, of different what-if scenarios. It models all sorts of random, volatile things to see the full range of what could happen. This is how insurers get a handle on really complex risks and prepare for those rare but catastrophic events that other methods might miss.
So, all this complex modeling, it's not just some fascinating math problem for actuaries to solve. The final number that pops out of these calculations is, and I'm not exaggerating, the absolute bedrock of the entire insurance industry. So why does getting this one number right matter so much to all of us?
Well, getting this provision right is quite simply everything. For one, it makes sure the company stays solvent and doesn't go bankrupt. For you, the policyholder, it's the guarantee that the money will actually be there when you need it most. It also keeps the regulators happy, since companies have to prove they're financially sound to even operate. And all of that together, it builds the public trust that makes the whole system work.
And really, if you boil it all down, even the official regulatory guidance says the same thing. The number one goal is to reduce the risk of insurers being unable to meet claims. That's it. Every calculation, every model, it all serves that one single purpose: making sure the promise is kept.
So, at the end of the day, an insurance policy isn't just a promise. It's a prediction. It's a highly educated, mathematically backed prediction. But it does leave us with one last, pretty big question. In a world that feels more and more uncertain every day, how well can anyone's crystal ball really work?